you go. Thanks, guys, for having me here.
Oh, hang on, give me a bonus white time.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, for having me here for the warm breakfast. I love breakfast. I love eating. I can eat as much as I can, and nothing happens. Thank you so much. Thanks, Christiana. Yeah, let's get starting. This is a photo taken in Roma a week and a half ago when I drew the raffle tickets for my fundraising efforts for World Vision, New York Marathon, a few months ago. And yeah, but how did it all start? My intention is to give you a little insight in the life of a flying doctor. The fulfillment of my dream. Since I was young, I wanted to be a pilot and a doctor. And yeah, and it's a reality now. And it is just amazing. I've got a few cases, and I've adjusted it to your breakfast in your stomach, so it won't be that bloody. And a few slides about the New York Marathon and the damage of Sandy. And time for some questions. And the food is already in my stomach, which is great. I'm happy. So I've got a few cases. Okay, so it starts with a little movie, and the movie has got a happy ending, but it gives you an idea about the work. The picture says more than 1,000 words. So this is on Whitehaven Beach near Mackay. One of the wits and idols, and this boy tried to impress his girlfriends. Here you go. So that was not his intention. He's been a gymnast for many years, but he misjudged his steps and landed on his neck.
Okay.
And they were all afraid that he would have broken his neck. We were tasked from Mackay to pick him up, and we flew to Mackay, from Mackay to the Whitsunday Islands, to pick him up during sunset. It's a very pretty island, but not when you have to pick up a man who couldn't feel his arms and his legs and stopped breathing for a few seconds. Luckily, he's a medical student, and his students were very good in stabilizing his neck, and the paramedic was there as well. And we picked him up with the helicopter, brought him to Mackay. He had a scan, no injuries, so he's completely fine. And then the funny thing is, this happened about 3 years ago. 2 months ago, I worked as an emergency doctor at Princess Alexandra Hospital in Brisbane, and I worked with a young doctor for a few weeks. And at a certain point, he said, "You sound familiar, and you look familiar." And I thought, you too. Same boy. So I saved his life 3 years ago, and supervised him only a few weeks ago. It's amazing, small world. Here you go. So we picked him up, gave him painkillers, neck collar. Yeah, he did actually. So, when and how did it all start? I do have a little button here. Yeah. So, I was 7 years old, my mother's twin sister, she took me along to her hospital. She's a nurse, and she showed me, the equipment and the books in the hospital, and I loved the hospital. The smell, the looks, the equipment, and I was very impressed. So this is in the north of Holland. When I was 10, I could buy myself a present from my grandparents for $25, and I bought a rescue helicopter, and I flew with it for months with a little winch. And I still remember this. I got to get it back to Australia. I asked my parents to dig it up for me. Flying the flight simulator, when I was a bit older. At night shifts as well, is flying. And have a look at this plane. It was my favorite plane to fly as a teenage boy on the computer. watched the Flying Doctor series on television in the mid-80s. I fell in love with Sister Kate. I was 13, 14, 15, my testosterone was going up. And yeah, she's in her 50s now and she's the personal assistant of the mayor of Sydney. And I'd like to have a cup of tea with her. Yeah, I look forward to that. I'll organize that as well. But this is the cast of the Flying Doctor series. Very popular in Europe, all over Europe. In the 80s, 90s, yeah, that is great. And I even came to the Netherlands a few times for fan club days. They were just stars. You know, I started gliding when I was 16. This is a picture taken at Jondarien, very close to Toowoomba. And this is a picture taken only 3 days ago from the glider over the Warrigal Highway. Here's Dolby, Toowoomba is kind of here, and flying at 2,000 meters above ground, catching thermals. It's my main passion. Gliding, it's very safe. You don't have an engine, but you don't need an engine to fly. You feel like a bird. It's so safe. It's fantastic. Really, the bird feeling I can recommend to all of you.
Yeah. What happens if you run out of wind?
There's no wind. You don't need winds. So you need the sun for the thermals and gravity, to pull you down. And the glider, it glides very slowly back to Earth. And when you as a glider pilot find thermals which take you up faster than the glider itself sinks, you gain height. So you don't need winds.
What colour paint do you look for? Is it a dark coloured paint to get the thermals?
Yes. And you have a close look at the birds of prey, which make use of the same thermals. They're very lazy buggers. So yeah. So and we look for clouds. Now we look for clouds as well. Because clouds are the top of thermals. Here you go, guys. So I started medicine till 2003. Always had a look at the trauma helicopter. So remember the Lego one? No, not a toy one. This is very similar. This is a German helicopter at my university hospital in Maastricht, founded by the Romans 2,000 years ago. Holland. This is Belgium and Germany, and Brussels, Amsterdam. Cool. So, seeing all that, why do you reckon I became a flying doctor? Why is that?
You love hospitals and you love them flying.
They don't need a big engine to pull you along?
Yes, they do. Yeah. So, I've had all these wishes and desires, and I was a med student, and at a certain point I thought like I wanted to do that, but then I thought I'm not good enough, etc. So I thought, shit, having to do night shift stress, no more gliding, no more traveling, will I be good enough? I'm a fear of failure, a fear of losing my freedom. So I had all these wishes and desires, but I thought, not, like I'm a loser, and and I won't be able to make it. Then I did this most amazing course, the Landmark Forum in the Netherlands, on the advanced course in Sydney in 2002, and I went through the ups and downs of the course, had a good look at myself, and I created the possibility of being a flying doctor as a way of being. And that pulled me into action. And a few months later I did, as a medical student, the advanced course, created being passionate, and creating the possibility of being a flying doctor, being passionate, it pulled me into action. And a couple of months ago, I created the possibility of me contributing to world health, fulfilling dreams and saving lives in the world. And that's had me being drawn to the New York Marathon, raising funds for World Vision. Yeah, you can do the Landmark Forum as well in Brisbane. It's a 3.5-day course. It's brilliant. It's the most amazing course I've ever done in my life for the daily life results I've got now. So graduate.